Today we're going to do the battle of the Bitcoin miners. So I'm going to be analyzing a bunch of different miner charts today, and I'm going to decide which one's the winner that has the possibility to break out the most. And we're going to start with Marathon here, and we're always going to use the weekly chart, and we're going to use the indicators of the GAN and the EMAs, the SMAs, and the Ichimoku. So first off is Mara, and we have Mara at the red angle exactly, and it's holding support. Now this purple line right here is the 200-week moving average, and it currently closed below. And the green is my 8, the orange is the 21 EMA, so it's also stuck under that as well. So it essentially is stuck in a range from the 50-week to the 821 and even up here almost to this angle above as well. So it's quite a big range from maybe 1570 all the way up to maybe 2150 or so. So it looks like it is just still stuck in a range. So is it bearish? No, because market structure is still good with a bunch of higher lows. And this is still even a higher low from here because this weekly candle closed above the wick of this candle right here. So market structure is great. It's holding support. It's just under resistance currently. So the chart looks good. Now let's go to CLSK. Okay, CLSK is the next one, and we also have the same indicators pulled up. And what do we see with CLSK? Well, CLSK is holding support of the 21 EMA right here, but it's closing under this orange angle of the GAN and under the 8 EMA as well. So it's also stuck in a range, and it is pretty close to support. And anything that's close to support is like a buy zone. So it has a possibility of retesting the support maybe next week or so, and then possibly continuing higher and higher. So this chart looks almost the same as Mara, except it's above the 200-week moving average by a lot. So it's a little bit more bullish because it has a little bit less resistance above. So I would say CLSK looks a little bit better than Mara at the moment. And next we have Riot platforms with the same indicators up. And this one is actually below all the indicators up here, below the 200, below the cloud, below the 821, below even the 100-week moving average, and now it's even below the angle again. So this one is my least favorite so far of the three that I mentioned, because there's so much resistance above now for it to break out. Like, is it at support? Technically, yes, and especially it had this wick down with this hammer candle close right there. So this retest of this buy zone is a normal thing. So it is at support, but the problem I have is there's a massive amount of resistance above, starting with the 8 and then the 21 and then the cloud around $12. And then once it gets up there, then it has this angle up here to deal with in the 15s, right? So yeah, that could be like a 50% gain if it got up there, but it's going to take a lot of effort for it to get up there. So this is my least favorite one so far. And the next one on the list is Bitfarms. And Bitfarms is using the same indicators here. We can see that it is currently below all of the angles right now. And even this last angle right here is resistance, right? But the good news is it's actually above the cloud and it's above the 100, but it is losing the 50-week as support, right? So the possibility for next week for it to come back down to retest the 100 at like $1.40 or so is very high, or even the cloud in the 130s as well, right? So this one I think is a little bit better than Riot, only because it's above the 100 and it's still above the cloud, right? But there's still a massive amount of resistance above right here. So what we're going to do is maybe if it got back down to the 140s, 130s, that would be a buy zone, and anything else is just a wait and see. So this one is okay. I do like it better than Riot, but it's still not as good as CLSK or Mara. And next we have HUT. And HUT is essentially at support as well on this purple angle, the last angle here. But it is essentially under everything. under all the moving averages, under the Ichimoku, under the EMA, SMA, and all that stuff, right? So that would put it near the bottom of the list because it takes a lot of effort to break this resistance up here. But the good news is this is support, so you could be a buyer in this zone. But I wouldn't expect it to break out anytime soon just because of all this support or all this resistance up here. And if it eventually gets above the red angle here, then it probably will have more momentum because it'll have less resistance since all these other moving averages will be out of the way. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the good news is it's above support, and the bad news is a lot of resistance above. And next we have CIFR mining here, and it's above the cloud, above the 50-week moving average, and it's also trying to hold the 21 EMA right there. So it is holding support pretty nicely, and it just has a little bit of resistance above, which means that the possibility of a breakout seems a lot easier and easier to break out to this 45-degree angle above, right? So CIFR will probably be towards the top of the list, and at the end of this video I'll show the ranking of which one from least or most favorite to least favorite. So just stay tuned for that, but this one will be near the top of the list just because there's less resistance above. And the next one we will have HIVE, and HIVE we don't even need to have a GAN pulled up simply because it's still making lower lows. Like if you look right here, this last weekly candle closed below these levels here, right? And it still closed above that there, but it's making lower lows from here and here and here. So that combined with it's below everything. It's below the EMAs, the SMAs, the cloud, and whatnot. So we don't even need to draw again to show me this is my least favorite so far. So this will be at the bottom of the list right now. And the next one and the last one we're going to do is actually Bit Digital here. And that is going to be, so we have the purple angle is holding quite nicely. It's currently holding the 100-week moving average right here, but it's still below the 8 EMA, 21 EMA, and the Ichimoku and the red angle. So it looks like support has been found right here at the purple angle, and maybe even now at the 100-week moving average. But as you can see, there's still a lot of resistance above, so this is not going to be one of my favorites, but it's not going to be one of the worst. So now it's time to see which ones are the best and which ones are the worst. So now the winner would be CLSK, second place, Mara, third place, CIFR, fourth place, BITF, and fifth, tied for fifth, is Riot, HUT, and BTB, just because those charts are very similar. They're all near support, but there's still a lot of resistance above. And my least favorite out of the 8 would be HIVE. So if you're looking to maximize your profits on these Bitcoin miners, I recommend maybe the top 4. And just maybe the other ones, they'll probably either take more time or possibly they can shoot through resistance quicker than I think. So we'll keep an eye on that. But these are my favorites, and now you know.